If you're thinking about buying an Apple TV 4K right now, stop for just a moment, because what's coming next might completely change your mind. Over the last few months, leak after leak has been pointing toward a 2025 Apple TV 4K that could easily become the biggest upgrade this product line has seen in years. And I don't mean small tweaks or mild improvements. I mean changes that could completely reshape how this little box works in your living room. Faster hardware, smarter AI, deeper ecosystem features, better gaming, and one rumor so surprising that if it ends up being true, your TV will feel like a totally different device. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect, whether you should buy the current Apple TV or wait, and what Apple's real plan for the living room might look like. Let's start with the present. The Apple TV 4K we have today came out in 2022, and honestly, it's already a strong device. It runs the A15 Bionic chip. It's smooth, responsive, and for most people it feels like more power than you even need just to watch Netflix, YouTube, or the Disney Plus. But Apple isn't thinking about what people need right now. Apple is thinking about where the living room is going next, and that becomes clear when you look at their product pattern. Every couple of years, they refresh the Apple TV. Every couple of years, they push a little harder on what this device can do. And all the industry reports we've seen are lining up toward one conclusion. 2025 is the year Apple plans to take the Apple TV to a new level. One of the biggest early rumors has nothing to do with performance or software. It's about price. Apple surprised a lot of people when they cut the price of the current Apple TV compared to older generations. It was the first time Apple pushed the price downward instead of up. And according to supply chain information, they've been exploring an even more affordable version to directly compete with Roku and Amazon's Fire TV products. That tells us one thing. Apple wants to get the Apple TV into more homes than ever before. So the most realistic scenario for 2025 is simple. Apple introduces a premium Apple TV 4K at the same price range as today, and alongside it, a cheaper model, maybe with slightly lower storage or a slightly less powerful chip, built to pull in people who never considered buying one before. And if Apple actually manages to bring the entry model below the psychological $100 price point in the US, that alone changes how many households suddenly become open to trying it. It's a huge move for a device that used to be seen as premium only. But the real conversation around the 2025 Apple TV isn't just about price. Every leak, every analyst report, and every industry rumor points toward one major upgrade: performance. Right now, the Apple TV uses the A15 chip. By 2025, it's extremely realistic that Apple moves to an A16 chip or maybe even an A17 level processor, the kind of chip we've seen in recent iPhones. Now, someone might say, why does that matter? It's just a streaming box. But performance isn't just about faster menus. With a more powerful chip, Apple can support longer software updates, smoother high frame rate playback, more advanced HDR formats, faster upscaling for older content, and, most importantly, the ability to run complex on-device AI features. Apple knows that the future of the Apple TV isn't just streaming. It's intelligence. It's software that can understand what you want, how you watch, and deliver recommendations in a way that feels natural instead of random. This brings us to the question a lot of people are wondering about. Is 8K coming? Right now, there's no strong evidence that Apple is planning full 8K for 2025. Apple is very conservative about pushing a technology before there's real content to support it. The streaming world still hasn't fully embraced 8K. Most content is still 4K, and a lot of it is streaming at bit rates far below what 8K would require. So while 8K isn't likely the headlining feature, the new chip combined with HDMI 2.1 gives Apple room to improve everything else. Higher frame rates, better color depth, more advanced HDR, and maybe even Apple's own version of super resolution video upscaling that makes older content look cleaner and sharper on large TVs. Instead of saying, here's 8K, Apple might focus on something more practical, making everything you watch look better without requiring studios to change anything. But if there is one area Apple seems genuinely ready to push hard in 2025, it's gaming. Over the last few years, Apple has been quietly expanding its gaming ecosystem across iPhone, iPad, and Mac. With the new chips, Apple Arcade has been getting more console-like titles. And when you combine that with a next-generation processor, faster Wi-Fi, lower latency Bluetooth, and full controller support, the Apple TV becomes something people may not have expected. A tiny, silent gaming console already sitting under your television. Imagine playing high-end games with a PS5 or Xbox controller, running smoothly without the noise, size, or heat of a traditional console. Apple doesn't need to compete directly with PlayStation or Xbox. They only need to show that the Apple TV is powerful enough for casual gaming, family gaming, or mid-range titles. And if Apple markets the Apple TV in that direction, this would be the first time the company positions it as a real gaming device. Hardware rumors don't stop there, though. One of the most common complaints about the Apple TV today has nothing to do with the box. It's the remote. The current Siri remote is better than the previous generation, but if you've ever lost it between couch cushions, you already know the single most requested feature: Find My Support. Multiple reports say Apple has been testing remotes with an ultra-wideband chip, the same tech used in AirTags. If that's true, the 2025 remote could finally let you ping it from your iPhone, track it down, and never lose it again. And that alone would make millions of users happy. We could also see small changes in the design, maybe slightly clearer buttons for gaming, a better grip, and a refined layout that builds on the current look without completely changing it. USB-C will stay, of course, because Apple is pushing it across the entire product lineup. But the quiet revolution, the one that could actually change how you use your TV, is software and AI. Apple has already announced its big push into on-device AI with Apple Intelligence on iPhone, iPad, and Mac. The next step is obvious: bring that same intelligence to the living room. Until now, using voice search on a TV has always felt clunky. You had to remember exact names, shout at the remote, or scroll endlessly through rows of thumbnails. But imagine this instead. You sit back, relax, and simply say, "Siri, show me a sci-fi series under 45 minutes with great reviews, something similar to Severance but lighter." Instead of guessing or throwing random suggestions, the AI understands your taste, your viewing habits, and your history across different apps. It can actually give you something that fits what you want in that moment. And that's only one part of the story. AI could automatically level audio, so dialogue is easier to hear, personalize your home screen based on what you're most likely to watch, and even suggest subtitles in scenes with heavy accents or low voices. Apple doesn't even need to confirm this. Everything they've already announced makes it clear this is where they're heading. Beyond entertainment, there's another area where Apple TV could become truly important: the smart home. Right now, the Apple TV acts as a HomeKit and Matter hub. But leaks suggest Apple has been working on more advanced hardware for home automation, better wireless radios, improved Thread support, and maybe even ultra-wideband for smart home positioning. In 2025, the Apple TV could become the central brain of your home. It could coordinate your lights, thermostat, cameras, and automations without needing your iPhone nearby. You could say goodnight, and instantly the system locks your doors, adjusts the temperature, dims your lights, arms your security system, and maybe even starts a sleep playlist. This isn't far-fetched. It's exactly where Apple has been heading, and the Apple TV is the perfect device to anchor that system. Now let's talk about one of the wildest rumors: the camera. For years, we've heard whispers that Apple has been experimenting with a living room device that combines Apple TV functionality with a built-in camera for FaceTime, fitness, and communication. Something part Apple TV, part HomePod, part Family Hub. And while we haven't seen that exact product yet, Apple introduced Continuity Camera for Apple TV, which lets you use your iPhone as a webcam for the big screen. That tells us the next step is obvious. Either Apple builds a new Apple TV with a built-in camera, or they create a first-party accessory that attaches seamlessly to your TV. If Apple extends this into group workouts, AI auto-framing, background cleanup, and FaceTime sessions on a huge display, suddenly your TV becomes more than a screen. It becomes a communication center for the whole household. So here's the question everyone wants answered. Should you buy the current Apple TV now or wait for the 2025 version? Here's the honest truth. The current Apple TV 4K is still an excellent streaming device. It's powerful, reliable, and gets discounts often. For basic streaming, it's more than enough and will continue receiving updates for years. But if you're even slightly interested in everything coming next, better gaming, smarter AI search, deeper smart home features, possibly a new remote with Find My, and maybe even a new camera experience, then waiting makes a lot of sense. Especially if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. Apple clearly sees the living room as a major part of their future strategy. And every leak suggests the next model is where Apple starts pushing much harder. To wrap everything up, here's the big picture. Apple is not treating the next Apple TV as just another streaming box. They're shaping it into a central part of the modern home. A device that brings more power, more intelligence, more connectivity, and more long-term value than any previous Apple TV ever has. This is not just an upgrade. It's Apple preparing the TV to become something much bigger than streaming. And if even half of these leaks become true, the 2025 Apple TV 4K will be one of the most important living room devices Apple has ever released. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated with every leak and announcement as we get closer to launch, make sure you subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon. Your support keeps this channel growing. I'll keep bringing you the latest tech leaks and deep dive updates.